Okay, so in this final part of the presentation for FormIt 360 and InfraWorks 360, I just want to summarize some of the stuff that I've gone over to create this workflow. So number one is I've pulled down a Google aerial image here from our tool here to do the location and put it on a layer. I've also created 3 layers and 3 conceptual design options and color coded them. These ones are actually grouped. You don't have to group them, it's just good practice to use the group tool here. So you've got a number of group tools. And with the materials of each object, what I've done is I've used the actual base color. I'm not using the texture maps, as these don't come through perfectly into InfraWorks. There are ways to do it, but the simplest way to do it in a conceptual modeling space is to use the color. And then with these 3 options, I've exported them out individually, and I've chosen to export them out as OBJ files. You can do FBX or DAE files, but OBJ tends to be the best one that I've found to work with InfraWorks 360. And if you've got more than one object, you can just put everything on layers, choose visible only, or actually select the object and choose the particular object you want to export out. Now when we move over to InfraWorks 360, I have my demo site. To create that, I use Model Builder. So you click on Model Builder and type in an address anywhere in the world, and it's going to pull down a lot of information from OpenStreetMaps and start to create your 3D model of your terrain and your buildings and your roads. So what I have here is my New York City demo. I'm just going to fire that up now. This one's quite a small file size, it's 3 megabytes, but they can get pretty big depending on how much information you bring in. And what I'm going to do for the sake of just navigating inside the model is I'm going to turn my visual effects down low, so you can see it's got high visual quality and animation on and sun color. You can adjust these as you need to. With the low visual effects settings, you can see here my model will move a lot faster. However, the graphics won't look as good, but I can very quickly move around quite large sites with these low settings. We also have under the little TV screen here our tools for sun and sky. So if you want to see shadows casting at times of the day, you can make these adjustments. You can see here it's very basic. If you turn on the high visual effect settings and we do high visual quality, you're now going to see much sharper shadows, and as we go through and adjust our date and time, you can see the shadows being cast on my building here and casting on the existing contextual buildings. We also brought in our files from FormIt via the data sources importing tool here. So these are the ones that we imported, the 3D models. There is about 40 different file formats and variations of those file formats that you can load in, including Revit. But for this conceptual design space, we use 3D models and we chose these type of file formats. You can see DAE, FBX and OBJ are all file formats that you can export out of FormIt. OBJ was my preferred one here. And when I click on the buildings that I brought across and we look at the actual 3D model, it brings across that color that we created in FormIt. So a nice simple conceptual design option which is color coded for better clarity, and we just use the interactive placing tool to locate it inside of InfraWorks 360. You can get more accurate if you want to by actually putting in the X, Y, Z coordinates, or if you're familiar with coordinate systems, you can move beyond the LL84, and if you're in places like Australia, you can move to the NGA settings or other coordinate systems depending on where you're building. The other ones that we looked at were the design options. So here we have our master model. and we also looked at bookmarks. So our master model and some of the options here, we can flick between those options and they're automatically going to change out. And if I just zoom out a little bit and go to my bookmarks, I have numerous bookmarks here which I can click on and it will take me around to those different views in the city. So my river view, for example, if I want to see the building in context, I can go to my main master model and instantly see that in the context of the New York City environment. And if I want to render it, I can go to my TV screen here, hit render model, and then this will automatically fire up and start doing some rendering. I can stop that, and I can also adjust some of the settings here for anybody who wants sharper renderings of their conceptual model. You can increase the ray balances, the split factor, and even adjust the tone mapping. So anybody familiar with rendering engines, Reinhardt is quite a good one, and you can choose what type of color you want for your exponential. And the final thing I wanted to show after summarizing the FormIt 360 and InfraWorks tools is how to do an animation, a very quick conceptual animation. So I'm just going to navigate out here, and for speed I'm just going to go to my visual effects and turn off high visual quality, and I'm going to use up here the storyboard creator. And what I want to do is use this simple point and shoot tool to do a little fly around in my city. There are numerous options you have here where you can actually choose some of the pre-made animation tools. So the simple one I want to show is an orbit animation, and what is instantly done is created 3 seconds of animation where it rotates left 45 degrees. So if I hit play, it follows that orbit. If I want to customize this, like maybe I want to fly around of the building and I want to do it say 360 degrees and I want to go to right, I can just click on angle right, 360 degrees, and maybe I want to angle down a little bit, so maybe maybe 30 because we're angling down, and I want to increase the duration. So in this case I'll move it up to say 12 frames, and I want to change where we start. So I'm going to pan across a little bit here by using my right mouse button and click, and I'm going to start up here looking down as an axo view of the city, and then just hit reset and then hit the play button, and this is going to do the 360 degree spin of the model, and we're going to come down a little bit lower and finish back where we started, and that's how you do your animation. Now from here, if you want to produce this out and share it with clients and make it look a little better, just turn on your visual effects, adjust the field of view as needed, maybe I want to finish there, and then hit record. You can choose the codec you want to use, locate it to a folder, and this is my final video as an AVI file format. And you can use the viewport resolution, or you can set the resolution. So a good one might be 1280 by 960. It's going to keep the aspect ratio, and you can even adjust whether you want it to go from a certain point in time to another point in time, and hit record. And this will now create a video for you in minutes as opposed to hours, and it will give you a great simple tool to produce a conceptual animation without having to get into too much detail, to put on your website, show to clients, show other consultants and other designers you're working with very quickly what your vision is for this particular design. Okay, so with that, the video is finished recording, and I'm just going to go to the folder and hit play. And here we have the quality reduced out of InfraWorks 360, a 12-second fly around of the building produced within a couple of minutes.